Every time you make a purchase with your credit card, you should be looking to maximize your return. That way, you can turn every dollar you spend into travel rewards, and you can turn those into aspirational experiences if you redeem them strategically. However, different credit cards have different earning rates depending on what you're buying. For example, your card might earn 5 points per dollar at one place, but only 1 point per dollar at another place. Not only that, but the credit card points that you earn aren't all created equally. Some are worth way more than others, and some are way more flexible and give you more options. And if you're not careful, you might be leaving value on the table every time you make a purchase. Welcome to Prince of Travel, we're the leading platform empowering every global citizen to go further better, and in this video, we're going to do a deep dive into the world of category earning rates on Canadian credit cards. Now, as I just mentioned, not all points are created equally, and especially when it comes to travel rewards, there are lots of choices out there, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. Now, we at Prince of Travel are all about traveling more and traveling better, and in support of this, we maintain points valuations for every loyalty program that's accessible to Canadians. Now, keep in mind that for the most part, these aren't guaranteed valuations, and you might get less or you might get more depending on how you redeem your points. However, these points valuations should give you an idea of the minimum amount of value you should expect to get when you redeem them optimally. Now, as you may know, the most valuable points programs give you the most opportunities for redemption. Now, this could mean having access to lots of transfer partners or just really flexible redemption opportunities, but in most cases, the most valuable points don't have a cap on the value that you can get, which means that you can score outsized value from every purchase that you make. Now, the less valuable points programs are much more restrictive, and they typically put a cap on the amount of value that you can get from your points. So, for example, American Express membership rewards points are the most powerful points in Canada. You can transfer them to 6 different airline partner programs, you can transfer them to 2 different hotel partner programs, and there are lots of different ways that you can redeem your points. And in fact, we value membership rewards points at 2.2 cents per point, so keep that in mind throughout our discussion today. Now, Aeroplan points are also super valuable. We value them at 2.1 cents per point because Aeroplan has 45 plus airline partners that you can redeem them with, and there are even opportunities to score outsized value from your Aeroplan points outside of flight redemptions. Now, we also love RBC Avion points. We value them at 2 cents per point, and that's because you can transfer them to 4 different airline partners or redeem them for outsized value through the RBC Air Travel redemption schedule. Now, for a couple more examples of points valuations, Scotiabank Scene Plus points are worth 1 cent per point. No more, no less. But the things that we love about Scene Plus points is that they're pretty easy to earn through Scotiabank Scene Plus credit cards. They're also really flexible for redemptions. You can book travel directly with any vendor and then redeem your points at 1 cent per point, and we like that a lot. Now, we value WestJet points at 1 cent per point, and that's because the value that you can get from them is mostly capped at 1 cent per point with very, very limited opportunities to score outsized value. And if you want to learn more about our valuations of all the different points programs accessible to Canadians and more, check out our points valuations page on the Prince of Travel website. Now, today we're going to focus on credit cards that earn travel rewards, but I'm also going to toss out a few honorable mentions to cashback cards whenever it makes sense. Now, today I'm going to talk a lot about the effective return that you can get from every dollar that you spend on your credit card. And to come up with this figure, you're going to want to look at how many points per dollar that you earn on your credit card and multiply it using our points valuations to come up with the effective return. So, for example, if you use a credit card that earns 5 points per dollar, and those points are worth 1 cent per point, you're looking at an effective 5% return. On the other hand, if you're earning 5 points per dollar and those points are worth 2.2 cents per point, you're looking at an effective return of 11%. Now, of course, when you're assessing the value of a credit card, you're also going to want to take into consideration the card's annual fee, the welcome bonus, other perks and benefits, but we're not going to be worried about those today, and we're just going to be laser focused on calculating value from earning rates. Let's go. Now, one of the most popular category earning rates on travel rewards credit cards is on food and drink. And if you followed us at all on Prince of Travel, you'll know that the most powerful credit card in Canada is the American Express Cobalt card, and that's because it earns 5 membership rewards points per dollar spent on food and drink. Now, this includes spending at restaurants, cafes, bars, grocery stores, food delivery, and as I mentioned above, we value membership rewards points at 2.2 cents per point, which means that you're getting an effective 11% return on every dollar you spend in this category, which is outstanding. Now, there's a cap of $2,500 per month on the 5x earning rate, but let's say that you spend $1,000 a month on groceries. That's $12,000 per year. That's 60,000 membership rewards points at the end of the year, which we'd value at $1,320. That's outstanding. Now, later on in this video, I'm going to share an example of how that's really 25% or more, so stay tuned. Now, of course, not any dining or drinking establishment accepts American Express, and in that case, you're going to want to have a backup card with an excellent return. Now, the RBC Avion Plus Visa earns 3 Avion points per dollar spent on dining, food delivery, and groceries. And if you also have an RBC Avion credit card, you can convert the Avion premium points that you earn on the my RBC Avion Plus Visa into Avion Elite points, which we value at 2 cents per point. Now this is what we like to call the optimized RBC credit card portfolio, and I've got a guide for that on the website too. So if you're earning 3 RBC Avion points per dollar spent on dining, groceries, and food delivery with the RBC Avion Plus Visa, and we value Avion points at 2 cents per point, you're looking at a 6% return in this category. So again, if you spend $12,000 a year in this category, that's 36,000 RBC Avion points, which we'd value at $720, which is excellent. Now I gotta give a shout out to the Scotiabank Gold American Express card in this category as well, and that's because the card earns 5 points per dollar on groceries, food delivery, and restaurants, or 16 plus points per dollar spent at Empire grocery stores like Sobeys, Thrifty Foods, Safeway, and more. And with a fixed value of 1 cent per point, you're looking at a 5 to 6% return on spending in this category, which is pretty respectable too. So again, if you spend $12,000 and earn 5 cents per point, you're looking at 60,000 Scene Plus points, which is worth $600, or $12,000 at 6 cents per point, you get 72,000 Scene Plus points over the course of the year, which is worth $720. Now keep in mind that most convenience stores and small markets also code as grocery stores, so don't forget to use these cards at those places too. Now unfortunately, wholesale clubs like Costco don't code as grocery stores, but we're going to talk about the best credit cards to use there later on in this video, so stay tuned. Now if you spend a lot of money at pharmacies and drugstores, you're going to want to take a look at the American Express Gold Rewards card. And that's because this card earns 2 membership rewards points per dollar spent here. Now with our valuation of 2.2 cents per point, you're looking at a return of 4.4% on spending in this category, which is pretty good. And plus, depending on where you shop, you can stack the rewards that you earn with your credit card with the loyalty program of the pharmacy. Now another thing that Canadians spend a lot of money on every year is gas for their vehicles. And if you're looking to maximize the return on your gas spend, look no further than the RBC Avion Plus Visa, which earns 3 points per dollar spent. Now again, we value RBC Avion points at 2 cents per point, so if you spend $200 per month on gas, that's $2,400 per year. At 3 points per dollar spent, you're earning 7,200 points, which we'd value at $144. Now I want to give a shout out to the American Express Business Edge card, which is no longer open for applications, but this card earns 3 membership rewards points per dollar spent on gas, and at 2.2 cents per point, you're looking at a 6.6% return. So if you have this card in your wallet, good for you, and if you don't, look to the RBC Avion Plus Visa. Now in terms of cashback cards, the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite card earns 4% cashback on gas, so if you spend $2,400 a year, you're looking at $96 cashback, which is pretty good too. Now if you're like me and you drive an electric vehicle, you'll be happy to know that more and more credit cards are offering a category earning rate on EV charging. And while this is great, the cost to charge your car is much lower than fueling it up with gas, and so your points are going to trickle in at a much slower rate this way. Now everybody has recurring bills to pay, and you're going to want to make sure that you're maximizing your return on those too. Now unfortunately, most travel rewards credit cards don't offer a category earning rate on recurring bill payments, but hopefully that changes in the future. Now the TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite card earns 4 TD rewards points per dollar spent on eligible recurring bill payments, and at a valuation of 0.5 cents per point, you're looking at a 2% return on spending. Now this card recently got a makeover, and in my opinion, it's one of the best Visa Infinite travel cards in Canada, so if it's not in your wallet yet, be sure to give it a good look. Now since most travel credit cards in Canada don't offer a category earning rate on recurring bill payments, you can also look at cards with a high baseline earning rate, which we're going to explore later on in this video, so stay tuned. Now we can't talk about recurring bill payments without talking about our favorite platform for paying them, and that's Chexi. Now Chexi is a Canadian platform that lets you use your credit card to pay for things that usually don't accept credit cards. Now on the platform, you can pay for things like rent, tuition, property taxes, utility bills, car lease payments, daycare, and much more. And you can also pay your personal taxes to the Canada Revenue Agency too. Now Chexi charges a 1.75% fee for every transaction, so there's a cost that you incur with it. But generally speaking, the value of the rewards that you can earn are greater than the fee that you pay. Let's look at an example. So let's suppose that every month you have a $2,000 rent payment, and that'll come with a 1.75% processing fee, which adds $35 to your bill. Now, if you use a credit card that has a 2% return, you'd be getting $41 in value, which nets you about $6 every month. But as long as you redeem the points that you earn through paying bills on Chexi for more than what it costs you to pay, you're going to be getting outsized value. And here, I want to give a shout out to the Scotia Momentum Visa Infinite card, which earns 4% cash back on recurring bill payments up to $25,000 every year. So if you take into consideration Chexi's 1.75% fee, you're coming out at 2.25% ahead. And in this sense, you're essentially getting paid to pay bills, which is pretty awesome. Now, with the rising cost of pretty much everything these days, you're going to want to distract yourself from the realities of daily life. And if you're looking for distractions, you're going to want to reward yourself for those too. Now, the Scotiabank Gold American Express card earns 5 Scene Plus points per dollar spent on entertainment purchases. Now this includes things like going to the movies or ticketing agencies or even amusement parks. And with Scene Plus points being worth 1 cent per point, you're looking at a 5% return on your entertainment purchases. Now again, you can double dip with entertainment loyalty programs like Scene Plus as well, which boost your rewards even further. Now if you subscribe to any streaming services like Netflix or Disney Plus, you're going to want to charge those to your American Express Cobalt card, which earns 3 membership rewards points per dollar spent on streaming services. And with a valuation of 2.2 cents per point, you're looking at a 6.6% return on streaming services, which is pretty good. Now my inspiration for this video actually came from a spreadsheet that one of my colleagues made in the Prince of Travel community. Now this spreadsheet compares all of the effective returns that you can get through category earning rates on all major Canadian travel credit cards. So if you're interested in connecting with a community of like-minded travelers, you want to be the first to know about deals and award alerts when they drop, and if you want to get expert advice from our team, be sure to check out the Prince of Travel membership page and I'll see you in there. And next up, we're going to talk about travel, which I hope something all of you get to do a lot of by following us here at Prince of Travel. Now, of course, travel rewards credit cards offer excellent earning rates on travel, or at least they should. And in my opinion, the two best cards to charge general travel expenses to are the American Express Platinum Card and the American Express Gold Reward Card. Both of these cards earn 2 membership rewards points per dollar spent. We value membership rewards points at 2.2 cents per point, so you're looking at a 4.4% effective return on spend, which is pretty good. Now, if you book your travel through the American Express travel portal, both of these cards offer an extra membership rewards point per dollar spent, which boosts your earning rate to 3 points per dollar spent, and your effective return is 6.6%. However, the usual cautions about booking through online travel agencies here apply, and we at Prince of Travel recommend that you book directly with travel vendors as often as possible. Now, you might recall that the BMO Ascend World Elite Mastercard earns 5 BMO rewards points per dollar spent on travel, up to $15,000 spent annually. But BMO rewards points are worth at most 0.67 cents per point, and so your effective return is actually only 3.35%. Now, there are no opportunities to get outsized value through the BMO rewards program, and that's why we recommend other cards on this list, because they give you opportunities to get outsized value. Now, speaking specifically about hotel stays, if you're staying at a Marriott hotel in Canada, you're going to want to use the Marriott Bonvoy American Express card, which earns 5 Marriott Bonvoy points per dollar spent. Now, we value Bonvoy points at 0.8 cents per point, so you're looking at a 4% return on spend, which is pretty good, and you can usually stack it with a global promotion if they have one running at the time. Now, an alternative for hotel stays could be the BMO VI Porter World Elite Mastercard, which earns 2 VI Porter points per dollar spent, up to $5,000 per year. Now, in my opinion, VI Porter is one of the more interesting loyalty programs available in Canada. We use a really conservative valuation of 1.5 cents per point, which would result in a 3% effective return on your hotel stays, but there are actually lots of opportunities to get outsized value through your VI Porter points, and so it's not uncommon to find a value of 2 or even 3 cents per point on redemptions, which is excellent. Now, if you're booking a luxury hotel anywhere in the world, be sure to get in touch with our in-house travel agency, Prince Collection, for a quote. And that's because we're able to offer you extra perks like free breakfast, a property credit, early check-in, late checkout, room upgrades, and more, all at the same price that you'd pay if you were to book directly with the hotel yourself. Plus, you'll earn elite nights and enjoy all of your status benefits, and that's because we book directly with the hotels. Now, when it comes to booking airfare, most airline co-branded credit cards will offer you the best return on spend. And if you're redeeming points, it's also a good idea to pay the taxes and fees with an airline co-branded credit card to make sure that you're covered by the card's insurance. So for Air Canada flights, the best card to use is the American Express Aeroplan Reserve card, which earns 3 Aeroplan points per dollar spent on Air Canada purchases. Now, we value Aeroplan points at 2.1 cents per point, so you're looking at a 6.3% return on spend, which is pretty good. Now, if you're booking flights with Porter Airlines, you're going to want to use the BMO VI Porter World Elite Mastercard, which earns 3 VI Porter points per dollar spent on Porter purchases. Now, as I mentioned, we value VI Porter points at 1.5 cents per point, so you're looking at a 4.5% return on spend, which is pretty good. Now, if you book cash flights with British Airways, you're going to want to look at the RBC British Airways Visa Infinite card, which earns 3 British Airways Avios per dollar spent on British Airways flights. Plus, as a card holder, you can also score a discount on British Airways flights, which could be a meaningful perk if you spend a lot with the airline. Now, we value British Airways Avios at 2 cents per point, so you're looking at a 6% return on spend, which again is pretty good. Now, if you fly a lot with Cathay Pacific, you're going to want to consider the Cathay World Elite Mastercard powered by Neo, which earns 2 Asia miles per dollar spent on Cathay Pacific flights. Now, we value Asia miles at 1.6 cents per point, so you're looking at a 3.2% return on your flights, which is actually a lower effective return than what you'd get if you book those same flights using the American Express Platinum card or the American Express Gold Rewards card. However, this card also offers a discount on Cathay Pacific flights flights, so if that's meaningful to you, be sure to check it out. Now, if you fly a lot with Air France or KLM, you're going to want to look at the Air France KLM World Elite Mastercard, which is issued by Brim. Now, as a card holder, you'll earn 5 flying blue miles per euro spent with Air France and KLM. And plus, even if you don't have status, or if you do have status, there's an additional flying blue multiplier for flights, so the return on spend for Air France and KLM flights with this card in your wallet is actually really good. It's just a little bit more complicated than the other cards. Suffice it to say that the return on spend is really good with this card, so if you fly cash fares with Air France or KLM, be sure to have it in your wallet. Now, last but not least in this category is the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard. This card earns 2 WestJet points per dollar spent on WestJet and WestJet Vacations purchases, and with a valuation of 1 cent per point, you're looking at only a 2% return on spend. So if you're a base level member in the WestJet Rewards program, you'll get an additional 1 WestJet point per dollar spent, bumping it up to 3 WestJet points per dollar spent, which is a 3% return. However, once again, if you were to pay for the same flights using an American Express Platinum card or American Express Gold Rewards card, you'd be earning 2 membership rewards points per dollar spent at 2.2 cents per point. That's a 4.4% return. So in most cases, we'd recommend charging your WestJet flights to one of these cards, except if you're redeeming WestJet points for your flight, in which case you'd want to use the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard. Now, if you don't have a car or a scooter or a bike to get around, you're probably going to be looking to public transit, aka the proletariat chariot, or rideshare services like Uber, Lyft, or maybe even the old school taxis. And if you're looking to maximize your return on spend in this category, once again, we look no further than the RBC Avion Plus Visa, which earns 3 RBC Avion points per dollar spent. So once again, you're looking at a 6% return on public transit and ride-sharing services using this card, which is great. Now, I also want to give a shout out to the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite card, which earns 2 Scene Plus points per dollar spent on transit and rideshare services too. Now, with a value of 1 cent per point, you're looking at a 2% return on spend, which is great. But keep in mind that the category earning rate applies to purchases made outside of Canada as well, and if you take into consideration its no foreign transaction fee features as well, it's an excellent card to bring with you when you're traveling outside of the country. Now, I'll also give a shout out to the Scotiabank Gold American Express card, which earns 3 Scene Plus points per dollar spent in this category in Canada, which is a 3% return. Now, a lot of Canadians spend a lot of money at wholesale clubs like Costco, and one question that we receive a lot here at Prince of Travel is what the best credit card to use at Costco is. Now, most Canadian credit cards don't offer a category multiplier at places like Costco, so you're probably going to be earning the card's baseline earning rate. And since Costco only accepts Mastercard credit cards, your options are even more limited. Now, in terms of earning travel rewards at Costco, you could look to the Air France KLM World Elite Mastercard, baseline earning rate of 1 flying blue mile per dollar spent. We value flying blue miles at 2 cents per point, so you're looking at a 2% return on spend. Alternatively, you could use the BMO VI Porter World Elite Mastercard, which again has a baseline earning rate of 1 VI Porter point per dollar spent. We value VI Porter points at 1.5 cents per point, so you're looking at a 1.5% return. Now, BMO is currently the only bank in Canada that has credit cards that offer a category earning rate at wholesale clubs like Costco. And because of this, one card to consider would be the BMO Air Miles World Elite Mastercard, which earns 2 air miles per $12 spent at wholesale clubs like Costco. Now, because you earn 2 air miles per $12 spent, and we value air miles at 10.5 cents per point, if I'm doing my math correctly, it works out to about a 1.75% return on spend, which is great if you want to pad your air miles balance. Now again, another option would be the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard, which has a baseline earning rate of 1.5 WestJet points per dollar spent. Now, with a value of 1 cent per point, you're looking at an effective return of 1.5%, which isn't bad, but it's also lower than the effective return of some of the other cards on this list. Now, I'm going to give a shout out here to the Rogers Red World Elite Mastercard. If you're a Rogers, Fido, or Shaw customer, you'll earn 2% cash back on every purchase that you make, including at Costco. But if you redeem the cash back that you earn with this card against a Rogers, Fido, or Shaw purchase, you get a 50% bonus, which means that you're effectively earning 3% cash back on every purchase that you make with the card, including at Costco, which makes it a really good option to consider too. Now, if you spend a lot of money on your credit card at places that don't otherwise offer category earning rates, you're going to want to look at credit cards with strong baseline earning rates. And again, cards with high baseline earning rates are also really good to use for recurring bill payments. Now, if you put a high volume of spending on your credit cards, the extra points that you earn per dollar spent on these credit cards is going to really add up over the course of the year, so it's a good idea for you to crunch the numbers to see if it justifies the card's annual fee. Now, the RBC Avion Visa Infinite Privilege card earns 1.25 points per dollar spent on everything that you buy. And again, we value RBC Avion points at 2 cents per point, so you're looking at a 2.5% effective return on everything that you buy, which is really good. Now, if you're a small business owner, the Business Platinum card from American Express also earns 1.25 1.25 points per dollar spent, but remember, we value membership rewards points at 2.2 cents per point, so you're actually looking at a 2.75% return on spending, which is really awesome. Now, the premium Aeroplan co-branded credit cards like the American Express Aeroplan Reserve Card, the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege Card, or the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege Card have a baseline earning rate of 1.25 Aeroplan points per dollar spent. And we value Aeroplan points at 2.1 cents per point, so with this figure in mind, you're looking at an effective 2.63% return on spending. Now, another premium card, the Scotiabank Platinum American Express card, has a baseline earning rate of 2 Scene+ points per dollar spent, and at a valuation of 1 cent per point, you're looking at a 2% return on everything that you buy. And once again, the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard has a baseline earning rate of 1.5 WestJet points per dollar spent. At a valuation of 1 cent per point, you're looking at a 1.5% return on everything that you buy, which isn't bad, but again, it's lower than the effective return that you can get with any of the other credit cards on this list. However, the annual fee is also lower than these credit cards, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, on most other mid-tier credit cards in Canada, the baseline earning rate is 1 point per dollar spent. But for example, if you're using the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card, we value Aeroplan points at 2.1 cents per point, which means that the effective return that you have for every dollar that you spend outside of category earning rates is 2.1%. So putting this all together now, you're going to want to build a small portfolio of credit cards to make sure that you're maximizing your return on every single dollar that you spend. Now, across all of the categories that we talked about today, some credit cards kept popping up. So first and foremost, you're going to want to have the American Express Cobalt card for all of your eats and drinks. Now, for gas in transit, or for grocery stores or restaurants or food delivery services that don't take American Express, you're going to want to put all of those purchases on the RBC Avion Plus Visa, but make sure that you also have an RBC Avion card in your portfolio to make sure that you can supercharge your points. Now, the American Express Gold Rewards card is really good if you have a lot to spend on pharmacy and travel, but alternatively, the American Express Platinum card is an excellent all-around card to use for travel purchases because it earns 2 points per dollar spent, and those are really powerful points. Now, as we saw, the Scotiabank Gold American Express card also has an excellent return on entertainment purchases, so that's something to keep in mind as well. If you spend a lot with any particular airline, make sure that you use an airline co-branded credit card to maximize your spend in that category. For Costco purchases, you can take your pick of any of the MasterCards that we talked about before, and for non-categorized spending or for recurring bill payments, look for a card with a high baseline earning rate. Now, rather than carrying around a stack of credit cards everywhere you go, consider loading up your credit cards in the digital wallet on your phone. But if you're old school, some people like to put labels on the credit cards for an easy reminder of which card to use for which purchases when they're out. Now, a lot of people in the miles and points community actually use spreadsheets to track their return on spend, but I'm going to finish this video with an example of just how powerful miles and points can be. So we've talked about how the American Express Cobalt card is Canada's most powerful credit card. Now, let's suppose that you spend $14,000 over the course of the year in the 5X category, which would net you 70,000 American Express membership rewards points. Now, at 2.2 cents per point, we'd value 70,000 membership rewards points at $1,540, which is an excellent effective return for money that you were going to spend anyway. Now, if you were to convert those 70,000 membership rewards points into British Airways Avios, you could book a one-way flight from Toronto to Doha in the world's best business class Qatar Airways Q Suites. And if you think about the actual value that you're getting by redeeming your points this way, it wouldn't be unusual to find a round-trip business class flight between Toronto and Doha for around $10,000. So 50% of a round trip would be about $5,000, and after you take into account a few $100s in taxes and fees that you'd have to spend on the reward booking, you're still looking at an effective return of 25% or more, which is outstanding. Now, you won't ever get that kind of value with a cashback card or fixed value points currencies, and I hope this example shows you just how powerful miles and points can be. Now, of course, you'll have to contend with award availability and other things, but we'll save that for another video. So today we went over the best credit cards in Canada that you can use for maximizing your return on every single dollar that you spend. And if you want to be the first to know about any new credit cards or changes to credit cards or the best offers as they come out, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. So next up, we're going to do a deep dive into the perks and benefits that come with Canadian credit cards, and I look forward to seeing you there.